welcome back to Gray Squadron Gaming. We're here at Gencon, as you can tell. We've got Will.
Woo!
We've got Don.
Woo! I like how you're like how you can tell.
It's just
you got a mask. Any kind of backdrop.
Yeah, we could very well just be
It's spinning around. Gencon's amazing.
I just show everyone Gencon. Yes, and we'll start with an easy question, I think. And one of the things I was interested to see, you guys have starters for the first time in public. Sell here.
In the wild.
How does that feel?
I mean, it's as big of a surprise to me as it is to everyone else because the last I heard was that they probably weren't going to make it. So the ones that we were able to get, like they're flown over, right? They don't take the normal way because everything else is in the boat, that kind of stuff. And we had hoped for quite a bit of time that we'd be able to preview a lot of the stuff here. But then, we've had some delays with the tariffs and everything else. And it was like, yeah, it's not looking really great. Like, it's probably not going to happen. And then we got here, and they're unloading, like, the pallets and stuff. And I looked at some of them, and everything's marked on the outside of the boxes. And I went, SWQ01. There's starters here. And then I was like, which ones do we have? All that stuff. So it was really exciting. I mean, it's been awesome to see folks, like, go out and get card packs to get the starters and all that. So it really feels like we're finally past this. We're in the home sport.
Right.
And we're like right there.
It has to feel amazing after a year of saying the new stuff's coming.
I know.
And it's here, and like we picked up the box and we're like, it's in our
It's actually a good way to box.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's got 600 points in there. It's got all the cards. Of course, it's got 4 languages worth of cards as well.
Right.
Product. This kind of thing, so it's pretty exciting. I see that you got a big box of goodies to take home for the channel and stuff.
If you guys want to see some unboxings of the new starters, just keep watching the channel.
Gorilla filming hotel box.
Yeah, we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We're getting smiling at us.
Oh my
Like,
God.
Look
Look at this. Ross is
Ross,
like
come on in.
Santa,
Yeah,
Santa Claus. Look at him.
Let's just do it
Look at
first.
This
We've got some boxes to open for everybody
Yes.
right here.
There
So
will be
we'll get these
unboxing.
open very shortly and get them out to you guys.
Yeah.
Card packs.
Looks
Buck
great.
Bags of Legion, right?
Oh my God.
There we go. That's the best part.
It's like
That was
Christmas.
Ross, you guys don't know. He's awesome.
Christmas.
Hi guys.
Or
August.
August 1st.
Oh, it's August
August 1st.
This could have been
Oh,
delayed.
no.
Could have been delayed.
We don't know first. You don't know.
And the other thing you did, which I was so happy you guys did, you guys could just stealth drop some new minis in the display case, which we showed pictures on our socials yesterday.
Yeah, we did. Obviously, Gen Con is kind of like an interesting intersection throughout the conventions. So it is a really big show. Like, we do a lot of new player acquisition and marketing and stuff here because it's such a wide breadth of different content on games, right? It's not just miniatures focused like a Death Stomp, things like that. That also means that it's kind of a hard place to do big announcements, because you have a ton of people, but everyone has different interests, and so there's a lot of noise. And because of that, we kind of avoid doing any kind of roadmaps or things like that in general, because we don't feel like it really has the weight to carry in a way that gets the information out to everyone, and it gets lost in the hubbub of all of the other Gen Con, of which there's so many.
Yeah.
Only a couple, like here, and then in a football stadium, and then in some hotels, and I mean, it's basically a village at this point.
It's great, really is.
That said, we do really love to drop surprises on people, have them excited to come by, even if they're already engaged in the game, and give people something a little bit to look forward to. So as we were packing the minis for Gen Con, we had just gotten Savage and then Dooku from Painter, and we also got the Hulks for Marvel and things like that, which I think we also posted on.
Yeah.
So we had a bunch of just hot off the painting table things come in, and Dallas and I were talking about what to bring, and I was like, well, it could be pretty fun if we brought this stuff. And he was like, you think we could do that? And I was like, well, we can do whatever we want because no one's really checking this right now. If it's in the bag, it's in the bag. And so we talked about it a little bit. We talked with Ross, we talked to Simone, and everything got approved from licensing. So we threw it into the bag. We're like, oh, this is gonna be really fun. And it was funny because when we were setting up the cases, we've learned from past experience that if you put things in the cases during setup, somebody inevitably comes by, takes a picture, and spoils it. So I told Dallas and I had a plan specifically not to put anything out until the morning of. And so we kind of put it under the table, and then that morning we put it in. And then it was a weird game of waiting for people to discover it. And it took a lot longer than I thought. But I was kind of getting upset. I was like, come on, it's right there. Nobody, and I kept checking the Discord for you. A little bit. I mean, I knew eventually, but I was like, I thought it would be right away. But I think it was about noon, right?
Yeah.
I started doing the pictures and stuff.
The funny thing is, we saw Opress just because he's so big.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
huge.
I saw him walking up to your booth. How big he
Yeah,
is.
Savage, like he's right dead center, but he does kind of like blend in. And anyway, so it was really fun, and then it's been fun since. Like a lot of folks who are wandering the halls of Gen Con and stuff, we're not necessarily paying attention to social media widely, but they don't need to,
Right.
Because they're like experiencing it live. And so I've gotten the chance a couple of times for players to come by and they chat, and I'm like, "Have you seen the new things in the case?" And they're like, "What?" And then they like go, and then you see their faces, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's so amazing!" So that was a lot of fun. That all said, right, the big announcements, the second half of the year roadmaps and all that stuff for Legion. That's all going to be a mini strap. Mini strap's going to be in the fall this year, so it's going to happen after. Official dates and announcements will be made by Ross and his team, hopefully in the next few weeks, so people know how to plan. But just because we don't have any big announcements here, it's part of the plan. We're going to be hitting those at mini strap with the roadmaps and all that good stuff. So
It's
we got
super
a lot
exciting.
of stuff to show.
I mean, it's super cool just to start imagining what Savage is going to do.
What is he going to do?
Yeah, if you guys want to see Savage, check our socials. A couple questions I was surprised. They kept asking me if it was a Sheriff Point or a Legion figure. I thought it was obvious, but is it a Sheriff Point or a Legion figure?
It's Legion.
There we go.
That is Savage Opress for Legion.
We already have Savage.
He is in Shatterpoint already, yeah. Now he's big, like even as we were working on him, there were times in camera like, is he supposed to be this large? Like
He is a big guy.
He's a big
He's a
chunky
big
monster, and as people have kind of noticed, like he takes up all of that base,
He sure does.
all of that base.
If only he wasn't standing on a rock.
Then he wouldn't be as cool. Rocks make everything at least 25% cool.
Yeah, Leaf. There was a Dallas we were talking to once was telling us it's just going to make a new standing on the
true.
flat ground. So now I appreciate that because you think about it, you got one leg up, one leg down,
Well,
arm up, arm down.
And the other thing too is that he's so big that if you didn't have the rock to give him extra space, he would have to be like
Just like
toe to toe.
toes, yeah.
Yeah, so like then he'd look really weird. 'cause
Pencil
he'd
straight.
be, like he'd be pencil straight on his legs and all tight. because
He's waiting
he
in
can't-
line for his new uniform.
He's so big he can't even like fit a normal stance.
Yeah.
And so this is one of the interesting sculpting and engineering challenges of Legion is we're working on these different characters. Is that because that 27 mil base is kind of ingrained into the true kind of like normal person system, when you get to characters like a Savage or even a Chewbacca, although Chewbacca is much more vertical, he doesn't have quite as much weight as Savage does, then you have to say, okay, how do we create, right? And that can happen with vehicles, it can happen with like bigger droids and things like that. But sometimes when you're looking at the base that you want, or in this case, the base that you have, you got to start getting creative about, okay, how are we going to fill that space? How are we going to make sure that this character can like not be just standing there like a log, and instead be dynamic and posed? And one of the ways you can cheat that is by using old figurines and creating a little C squared line for them to like gain extra distance, right? It's the whole fishing rod and the box.
I just like the dynamic nature it gives sometimes. Some people joke with the tactical rocks or whatever it is, but like the Anakin model showed up definitely. Zero one, he looks so good.
Yeah, the leap was definitely something Dallas was really hard for. He was very passionate about, like, he's Anakin a lot, especially in both forms of media, right? In live action, in animation. He's very much like a leaping, overhanded shot, right? He gets to do that like all the time. And so Dallas really wanted to bring that to miniature. And there's definitely like a vibe check when it comes to doing Star Wars characters and showing the posing. And there's a level at which, it's like, is it too superhero-y? Because Star Wars is still pretty grounded, even though the Jedi have incredible powers, they're not like flying through the air, leaping tall buildings in a single bound. And it really came down to like, okay, I think we could try this. It's like, I really want to push for it. And we showed it to Ryan Merton, one of our partners at Arlen's Alpha, just to approve this and stuff. He was like, I love it, just do it. And I was like, well, I guess I was worried about nothing. And it came out great.
Yeah, it looks great. The other fan things here, for people who don't know, they also have the park packs, the mission packs, all that's here too. So it's nice to get all that in the hands of players, and that's coming in a month-ish. Am I right on that?
Yeah, so I think they were slightly delayed. They were supposed to release it in August. I think they're now into the early part of September.
Okay.
Still not bad. Not bad. No, yeah. So we're really close. We're really excited about that. Of course, all the print documents are still as updated as possible. Those kind of things. So you don't have to wait, but if you're excited to get your hands on these,
I'm excited for a slightly slimmer binder.
Yeah.
Because all those printed and sleeve cards made that real chunky.
They did.
for sure. So yeah, so all that stuff should be coming. Be sure to check your local retailers for the dates, because I believe just based on territories and stuff, I don't think the global date is singular. So each region is going to kind of have a slightly different thing, but they all feel kind of like the same.
Yeah.
So it's always just good to do.
Yeah. And the wheel bikes are here. They look great. The Dooku, you mentioned. New boats. First time seeing that. I heard maybe there's an alternate post one too. That's
Yeah, so the Dooku, the new hard plastic Dooku, right? Updated from the soft plastic. He actually has two different build options. So you can do what you see in the case, or you can do like more of a saber out. Where there's like these, it's like kind of the idea is he does the whole solution, right? So
Yeah.
you as a player can kind of choose which one you want. We always try, wherever possible, to add those opportunities and options for players to customize a little bit, make choices, right? Whether that's head swap or you get additional pose out of things. And the challenge there is really saying, okay, how do you make a different pose but not have it feel like 3/4 of a mini, right? And then at that point, it's like, can we just get them two versions of it, which kind of happens with Yoda and things like that. So, but Dallas and the team they're always looking for that. Okay, how do we add a little extra in there? What can we do to give players the opportunity to customize and really make it their own in addition to the feature?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great option. People, especially people who are newer to the hobby, might not have as much experience how to customize all this. Right. Great. Now, we have the last point update. It's been out for a little bit. How do you guys feel the Empire and some of the other changes for Rebels, for example, have been kind of fitting in so far? I know it's early still.
Yeah, well,
what you guys heard so far?
I mean, I think overall we're pretty happy with where things are going. We've seen Empire win rates trend up. And we're getting really close to that 55-45 like spread. And while I know that like everyone kind of always feels like it should be 50, or maybe your faction should be 55 and everyone else's faction should be 45, it doesn't quite work that way, right? Like those numbers are always going to kind of spread. And so, like overall, right? We're still watching it. We're still analyzing. There's going to be there's obviously going to potentially be changes sometime in November, like the developer update, as there always will be. The possibility for, but overall, I think we're really happy as a team with where things have gone. Seeing the new upgrades being adopted and seeing them integrate into the economy, army building and player strategies and stuff. They've really hit the notes that he has done a lot of them, and I think that's great. We talk a lot about there's more than one way to like address balance and to address underperforming units or overperforming units, and that can be points. And a lot of times it's the simplest way, but sometimes it's about finding what they need to do their job well. And being able to integrate that, seeing the fruits of that with the upgrade cards that we introduced is really cool and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of really good stuff coming. Pretty excited to see where things go next. Obviously, we gave a sample of the new upgrades that we're working on. There are a bunch more that are going to be in upgrade pack 2, and we haven't even really started talking about the new missions for battle pack 2. We are sometime early next year, so I think a lot of that stuff we're gonna give some brief previews on during the mini strap stuff, so people kind of get an idea of sample mission primary. I think we're going to show a sample primary from the new pack. We're going to talk a little bit more about the upgrades, and of course all of the new missions and everything start coming out next year and that kind of stuff. So
How excited are you to start showing new stuff?
Super excited! Like I just like we talked about, I think at Adepticon, right? One of the most exciting points is getting to do things like Savage, right? It's getting to get to a point where now we're truly surprising people with things that are new. And well, I know Savage was kind of like an exciting like reveal. He wasn't art. I think people were kind of like, eventually, Savage is probably going to happen. We've got things that we're going to be showing off, especially at Adepticon next year, that hopefully will completely just blow everyone away in terms of like, I did not expect this at all, and here we are, we're living it, and it's going. Maybe I'm over-promising, but for me, thinking about it from a player perspective, right? How do we delight? How do we entertain? How do we continue to push the game forward in exciting ways and do things that the community and the game want, but maybe are completely unexpected? And so it's very exciting to be in that point. Like, I'm really looking forward to mini-strap. I'm very much looking forward to Adepticon, because we have some amazing surprises planned there. And then we're just going to keep going, right? And the other thing I'm really excited to see is, the starters, seeing the new players come in, watching us, all the work that the community has been doing locally, we've been doing globally for conventions and stuff. really start to look in that next group.
Yes.
That's going to come into the community and going to help the game grow and make it carry into like the next 10 years and all that good stuff. So we have a lot of work ahead of us. And we're just going to keep chipping away at it, but it's been a blast. And, I think it's going to be a real fun next like 12 months.
Yeah, we can't wait. We just kicked off a couple days before this premieres. First thing we do, our Legion was a 1 series for new players. This is on map building and terrain and household boards. We get a lot of questions about that, so we're going to kind of piggyback on you guys with the same product, trying to bring more players in. Because more players, guys, equal the game grows, equal we have a good game, right?
Absolutely.
So that's the kind of pivoting over to SharePoint. I know you announced them, but we actually have the minis of Braidland and all of them.
We do, yeah.
Look fantastic.
Yeah,
You guys are
good.
working so.
Yeah, so we were able to bring Bandit Skull, Free Body, and the HK droids. I think Morgan, Enoch, and Night Troopers are still on painting team, so we didn't have those ready yet. But yeah, we got
brought
some.
them out. It's been painting since the gap.
Could have.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
5
awesome
feet from us painted it.
Yeah, so it was fun to be able to bring those in. And then, of course, we had Delta Squad and Rift, who were at UK Games Expo, but now have made their United States appearance, which is pretty cool.
I mean, that's what we have in the deck.
Were they in it?
Not painted, no.
Oh.
Rift was, I think, but not Delta.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Delta was.
So that's been really cool. We've got some fun stuff coming from that as well. Ministrap, we'll have the updated roadmap for all the different games. We also have some really cool game stuff that we've been working on. Galactic Legends, chance we're working away on some new character strategy we've got some multiplayer stuff that's going to come out later in the year, so we'll do like 4-player free-for-all games and things like that. Some new key operations, we've got new mission packs, like a lot of really fun stuff that's getting announced and rolled out as we kind of move past the big push of Legion, right? Which requires a lot of resources, a lot of manpower. The manufacturing bandwidth is not infinite, right? So we always have to kind of like measure things out.
You guys are coming. Everyone, I think, is forgetting because we haven't even spoiled yet, but those Breaker and Heroes are like right around
They
the corner.
are right around the corner. Yeah, I think.
I'm excited.
I think probably in the next couple of weeks we'll start seeing rules previews for those, which will be really cool. So maybe we'll finally start to get to see like how they go together, how the process works, what kind of combinations can be made for them.
We're really excited for that.
Yeah. So we're right there, right? We're right there to be able to create your Eugenic, create your Doctor Legion, create your own Rebels Trooper, create your own Super Tactoid, like a lot of really cool stuff for sure.
Yeah. Can't wait for all that. And then one of the things with SharePoint that we've been getting a lot of questions on too is not just the missions, but you guys talk about multiple ways of playing. Galactic Legends is even an example of that. When you say there's more coming, so are we going to have physical discs? This is a question for you to ask. Are they going to stay print and play, which is great, it's free, but just a question.
So we're looking at options and ways to get more of those printed and out to people, whether that's through organized kits and retail store kits. I know that there's a operations that's going to be available for the retail store kits, which is going to be I think it actually ran on the line with send the transmission. So there's that way. Of course, we can always like combine those into an actual product. Part of that is hitting kind of a tolerance level for the ability to make a good product, right? So having enough cards in it, having enough value in it, to where like it makes sense to manufacture at a factory, also to sell for the retail outlet, right? At a cost that makes valuable. Right? It's really hard because they're just these MOQs that you have to deal with in production. It's like you can't just take 5 cards, put them in a box, ship them globally across the world, and charge what 5 cards should cost. Right? Because you have some of the minimums that you're hitting, and you're just like, well, if it's 5 cards or 30 cards, it's still gonna be like $15. And our players really see value that I would personally as a consumer be like, only 5 cards for 15 doesn't feel very to me, right? Like there's expectations that you want to hit. And so we're always trying to be aware of value, and we talk about this a lot, right? Value at every level of the team. So value to the players, value to the retailers, so they want to carry. Value to, as the Derek publisher, who is the one who's taken a risk of printing and manufacturing and stuff and delivering it, and value to the game itself is important. So currently, I can't say that there's any like immediate plans to put that stuff in print, at least from a product standpoint. We are exploring a lot of different options to get those, make those materials available.
Yeah.
Super excited.
Yeah. One of the other questions that we tend to get from the community is in regards to Legion and Skirmish, excuse me, Recon. So the old name there. It's fair. Recon is that, I know you've announced this, you probably can't say it right now. Is it fair to say you maybe are working on more missions? That seems to be the biggest thing we've been asked. So we have 8 or 9 different episodes up now. People loving them. And I'm very happy to see you guys love those episodes. But there's not nearly as many missions as there is in the main game.
Yeah. Yeah, so Recon is definitely going to be one of those things that we want to support a lot more than Skirmish was in the past, right? It is the entry point of the game. It is absolutely a legitimate way to play the game. So I would not be surprised if some sort of communities that are either smaller or in like a more limited space or whatever's going on, wind up sticking more at that 600 level before they move into 1,000, maybe before moving into 1,000. And we want to make sure that that level is good and solid. But the 1,000 points is there, and we also want to work towards having an even larger scale to 2,000, 3,000 points. Right? That's a bit further in the future. Like there's stuff we have to establish as a foundation. But are there going to be more recon missions? Absolutely. That's something we're looking at. We want to work towards. Obviously, the main level of the game, 1,000 points, is the place where we focus a lot of our attention. We don't want to wind up in a situation where that's easy to take on a sale. Because we really do believe that's an important entry point and an important player point for the game. So I would expect that you will see more missions one day year for Recon as well as for the main game. And then ideally, by this time next year, maybe we'll talk a little bit about spoilers for like 2,000 point, 3,000 point games, right? Like big, massive games.
We've enjoyed the big game.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, so that's definitely a goal that we're working at actively right now to get to and to bring to the game next after we get past this sort of initial relaunch here. And it's going pretty cool, and we've had some fun. Like we've taken the whole conference table, played some pretty massive games so far, and we're speaking through how to really define that experience as its own unique thing. And not just like, just take Legion and double it. So we want to, again, like we've always talked about, Recon, with this, with anything that we do, we want to make sure that it is its own experience that works, functions, and provides fun and enjoyment in a way that brings value to the players.
Is it just a 4-hour long?
Yeah, it's just not like 8 hours being like, well, I'm just playing Legion, it's just bigger, right?
Yeah.
We want it to be big Legion.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of work ahead of us to do on that. We're pretty excited to
Yeah, that's going to be exciting. I know just going from the 500 to 600 for the Recon, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's made Recon much more enjoyable for us. And extra 100 points each you
You're building those lists, you're like, oh,
it's that little bit of breathing.
You could bring it doesn't hurt to, I want to bring Op Loop. Before it was like, oh man, Op Loop's like, that's most of my points right there, but now it's like, I can bring it. So it's really fun. We're obviously, I always ask the same question, I'm not going to, I'm going to skip over a certain,
no spoilers?
no, that one's coming, but
okay.
a certain faction question. Help me reset the clock. So I'm not asking it, because I got yelled at last time by the viewers. We're not going to ask that question.
Fair enough. That's the weirdest way to not ask a question.
Yeah, I'm still showing people that I remember.
Everyone remembers that it's in your contract to ask about
Yeah,
comments.
I have,
but
I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
I
wasn't
did
him
to
this
reset
time.
the clock.
No, you can't reset the clock.
I can reset the clock.
Sorry, Gungan
All I
fans. Joe ruined it again.
But yes, we always do ask any spoilers you want to give. Obviously, got some pop spoilers. Anything else you can think of?
So we already talked that Big Legion is a thing.
I love that.
That we're coming to it. I think that's a pretty good one for the future.
Yeah.
The only other thing that I'll say is that so you saw Savage, you saw the Dooku. There is a brand new mystery character that's also going to appear in that box.
So there'll be 3-ish in that box?
There will be 4 because Savage will also be in it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Mystery character. I like that. Okay.
So there's a brand new one that's also going to be in that box.
Maybe we get more mini strap guys.
Maybe we'll get more mini strap.
Perfect. Well, it's Gencon. We've got lots of things to look at and do. We're going to let you get back to it. Any other questions?
I think we're good. I think perfect. Great.
Thank you as always, Will.
Absolutely.
We've got a big box of stuff to go
Sure.
do. More videos.
We're
We're
going to make a trip back to the hotel because you can't carry that around a good bit.
It's going to be tough on the scooter.
Yeah, usually we scooter back. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Will, for always being on. Appreciate it. And we'll talk to you guys next time.
Bye.
Thanks.